What Remains of Edith Finch? I decided to record a playthrough of this one because it's a great game. And like so many other people, it hit me hard, I got a lot out of it, and I can't really get it off my mind. After playing it, I've played it... I thought it would wait for me. I've played it twice, so this is my third playthrough. This is something I've started doing with games in a way to journal my thoughts about them, particularly the games I like a lot. And I do this for myself even if I don't ever put them online. After playing it twice, I've also watched a few other people's playthroughs, and that has honed my thoughts on the game and on what happens in this game, what is going on, what is it actually about, what is it saying. I kind of love that there is no objective truth. I think that is the point. This is all very subjective, just as life is all very subjective. You won't ever find out exactly what is going on. All you can do is make an analysis based on your own impressions, on the information that you have, and on the level of trust you have in whoever is telling you things. So my feeling is that's what this game is all about. I really like the framing technique. Like, it is a narrative, and the framing technique is somebody else is telling you the story. You are not in the moment firsthand. You are getting these impressions from somebody else. There are a lot of books that do this. The one that comes first to my mind is Henry James' The Turn of the Screw. That is a story told to you by a gentleman on a dark, stormy night, and he heard it from somebody else. You can't question him about details because he's retelling a story anyway, and you can't even use your impressions of that person. You can't assess his standards of accuracy because even if he is the most accurate person in the world and you trust him, you have no idea about the other person who told him the story. So this one is like that. There are stories told to somebody who tells them on, who tells them on. And all you can do is live your life in the knowledge that some of these stories may have truth in them, some may not. I do like that. The one truth we have is the house. That is the one consistent factor. We see the rooms. It doesn't matter how other people view the rooms. We can make our own call on that, but not on what happened. And the game manages to do that, even while putting us right in their shoes. It's quite incredible, and I haven't come across another game that does this at all. Okay, so here we are at the start of the game, not knowing a single thing. We are sitting on a boat, obviously a passenger boat. We're out at sea. We have this on our lap.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Now, there may be a little bit of sound from my computer. It only just handles this game. I've got the mic aimed away and I've got it set to not take sounds from that side, but I've noticed that every so often they come through anyway. Hopefully that's not too big a problem. When I first came in, I was really confused. I saw this fence. I assumed, okay, logically we walked
Someone
through
had
that
put up a
gate.
chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it.
And I spent ages thinking, okay, that's an instruction, I've got to hop it.
My brother Milton disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
A lot of information to be gleaned here. I've noticed that a lot of people who played this game through missed this bit. They didn't walk back to the fence. They didn't spot this. You do get this information later, but this is the clearest, and this is where it's properly talked about. When I got to this point, this reminded me a lot of Dark. I felt He is the same age as Mikkel, and he even kind of, to me, looked like Mikkel in that. I think it's just his smile. He just looked a bit like Mikkel. That's kind of irrelevant to the game, but it was my observation at the time, and it still is. So, having determined we've already hopped the fence. There we go. First glimpse of the house, if you can call it a house. That is just the most insane structure. And I kind of love it, but...
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
A lot of people who reviewed this game found that surprising, but honestly it was the same when I grew up. Like, I wasn't allowed in my father's office, I wasn't allowed in my parents' bedroom. I feel like that's actually not an unusual thing. That did not ring any bells for me at all for this. What does though is look at that place. Like, I love it. And if I saw that in real life, I would so want to go all the way up, but I'd be afraid it was going to fall down. It just does not look safe. And why would you build like that? It's incredible. And how? Anyway. Beautifully atmospheric game, this one. Remarkable stuff. It was only my second playthrough that I noticed this mailbox is actually the house. Like, it's not the full house, but it's the house at an earlier stage, I suppose.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
And that attention to detail is astounding. I mean, you have to love your house to make it the mailbox as well. I think it's fantastic.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
So from this point, obviously, we've got Milton went missing, and that's tragic enough to have a brother go missing, but now we've got another brother dead. Gorgeous little bridge. My grandparents' place had a bridge like this to cross to it. I'm astounded that people didn't go off the sides. But they never did.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
An amazingly uneven driveway.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Must have been such a bumpy ride. On my first playthrough, I got to that bit and I thought maybe it's set in the 19th century and the hoof prints are like horse and carriages. Be really cool to chase that deer. It's a beautiful game.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
I would love to inherit a house, and imagine inheriting that. That is just...
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Does a great job with the music, like making that a really climactic moment there in the sound. Adds to the feel. So I was just looking at it, comparing it to the mailbox. And yes, I see what bits are in the mailbox and what bits aren't. It's a cool truck. I guess this is our main character's truck here.
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me even then.
I don't understand why all these flyers are everywhere like that. I don't know. You could spin a story about that too. I mean, that's the beautiful thing. The house gives you these constants, like just what you see, but it doesn't tell you, well, at this point at least, it's not telling you how that came about. So how did all these flyers end up blowing all over the place?
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
This is lovely. If this was my place, I think I'd spend a lot of time on this deck. Although, if the dragon killed one of them, I think it's really interesting that it's been left there though. I remember thinking that right in my first playthrough, like, fair enough, this is the scene of an accident. Why would you just leave it like that? Trees. I know that for a lot of people this is a very esoteric game, but you know, I'm an adult, and I'm an older adult now, and I look at that and I think arborists are so expensive. And my gosh, how would you deal with those trees? What happens when they get old and they might fall? They've been allowed to grow so big, so close to the house. Not to mention that one that is incorporated into the house. Like, I don't know Washington. I don't know if they have trouble with white ants or anything. That's my very pragmatic thought here at this beautiful moment, but what a place. I love rambling places. I love big ones. I just think it's... I don't see how or why you would build it, but if it had been built, how fantastic that is. Just hope you don't get a leak in one of those roofs moans up.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
Okay, this is actually a different day to the other one. When I went to edit my recording, I realised that it had somehow frozen. Like the recording part had somehow frozen. So I missed a large section of it. I had my audio recording, but not the visual one. So here I am redoing it, and hopefully I catch all the bits that I wanted to talk about then. It is a truly beautiful place. And it's really well made. Especially looking at the condition it's in after having been presumably neglected for the last 7 years. Like, there's no deterioration to these boards. There's a little bit maybe around the side. Shingles are looking a little bit damp. But it's, yeah, really good nick. And yeah, sure, I know it's a game, not a real house, but they put so much time into this that I feel like there's not many elements that aren't deliberate, which is the reason I'm taking such a very slow look at this game, at all the things. Obviously, not every single element can be intentional. There are just some images for the sake of having, I don't know, a step or a door or whatever, but so much of this is carefully planned. I found it interesting when I looked at all these playthroughs of it, and admittedly I haven't seen them all, how many people did not come and put the key in the door first. I'm very glad that I did. I see why you wouldn't. I had that thought because I was thinking you don't want to go into the house when you haven't explored outside, and I think that's what everybody does in their first playthrough. They go around the side thinking they'll just check that out first and come back to the front door. But I'm glad.
I hope the key might unlock the front door. It didn't.
That I did it this way because I learned that the front door doesn't let you in. What?
Looking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Pretty cool, actually. Just that little glimpse. Now, before I do go round the side of the house, I'm going to go back down for a bit. Just because I know that when we get into the house we don't get out again. Like, not out here, not out to the front drive. And I did want to have a close look. I'm doing such a slow playthrough of this, I know. But I always wondered if there might be just something you could see down here that I haven't seen. Obviously not there. There was also this other path that I didn't take. The forest has been done marvellously. I mean, the
The woods
plants...
around the house have always been uncomfortably silent.
The plants, but also the atmosphere, the level of lighting. You can almost
As
smell...
if they're about to say something, but never do.
You can almost smell the damp of the leaves. And I find that wheelbarrow interesting. It looks like they did come out at some point and maintain this area. Beautiful little winding path. Can you walk down? Oh, you can. You can wade through... Oh, only to that point. Yeah, I'm stuck. This is a beautiful little pond. Okay, and that's the way back up to the road. So I wonder if, like, the kids going to school, did they come up there and meet a school bus down at the main road? They might have walked this every day. Alright, let's get back to the house now. The old basketball hoop that is everywhere in American shows. I don't think we had it that much in Australia. Like, some people did. Some people had, you could buy a netball hoop, but it was on a pole and a stand. It wasn't something that was affixed like that. The surface wouldn't have been perfect for it. Okay, let's go back. I don't know why, but the house seems really rustic and kind of old. Like, as if it was built a long time ago. I don't mean old dilapidated, I mean old earlier design. And yet the garage door just seems very new. Which is kind of fitting, like it makes it more of a real home that anyone might have. As do the wheelie bins. I guess it was somebody's job to take them all the way up the driveway to the main street. That would have been an onerous task. This always looks like it should be a gate.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Got the statue over there looking out to sea. The thing in the middle. It's a lovely view. That's really all we've got to look at here. It's so nicely done. It's just like your house would be, with your hose and everything. Must be a good quality hose because it's survived all these years too.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Excellent garage.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Wonder what that car is. So she's actually got a truck and a car that presumably she's inherited with the house and all its belongings. Yeah. Love that tennis ball thing there. You do see that all over the place. So look at this attention to detail. Isn't it incredible? All the things they've put in. I feel as if they went to a real garage and had a look and thought, okay, what do people keep in their garages? Let's include these items. The effort they've gone to. Just when you come in this and you wonder if it's going to be a horror story, you see all this normality. And it's quite reassuring. Woodworking tools. I wonder if they went fishing in that pond that was sort of under the mailbox where the bridge goes over. This is a nice touch.
For the first time in years.
All the coat hooks with their names on them. Calendar dated 2010, which I think... What year was she born? Where is it? Is it here? She was born in 99 and she's 17 now. Which is still really young. So it's 2016, maybe 2017. And they left 7 years ago. So this was from the time that they left. But it's January.
I felt like I was home.
And you would feel home, especially when it's all still furnished. It's got all the stuff. It's even got things out as if somebody has just stepped outside in the backyard for a minute. Quite amazing. A lot of books for a kitchen.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
There they are. Edith, Edie, Lewis and Dawn. I find it interesting, the memorial services at the Finch Family Cemetery. So Dawn is Edith's mum. And that's Dawn there. And this is something else that I said earlier. Milton reminded me of Mikkel from Dark. Dawn really reminds me of Katerina in Dark, who was Mikkel's mother. She reminds me of, like, Otherworld Katerina, which is irrelevant to anything. It's just something that occurred to me when I first played through. That's a marvellous bit of storytelling. It tells us who's who in the picture and what's going on in this family. So that is the 21st of November 2010, and the calendar in the garage is set to January 2010, which I don't have any conclusion to draw from that. I just note, because I note these things. I always do. They do look so happy, and he was so close to his 22nd birthday. Just a few weeks before. Alright, here we are in this kitchen with its sound of flies, and I'm assuming that that's wind in the oven grate that we're hearing, like the vents above the oven. That's my guess. Anyway, taking a slow look around. Books. These are cookbooks. Why would you need so many cookbooks? This is something that I feel is a bit of a pattern in this house, and this is kind of a clue. All these cookbooks. Maybe I need to just go along here for a second.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
See, that's it. They're getting Chinese a lot, but they've got all these cookbooks. They want to do the cooking, So you get the books because, like, it helps motivate you, but then they still get Chinese takeaway. Either that or whoever did the cooking left a long time ago. We've got all this crockery, which is rather amazing. That's just an astounding number. Oh, look over there! Goodness me, were they like feeding the whole neighbourhood? I would think that was old, but they came back. Like in the last few years, you can get this kind of retro look toaster in Kmart, so there's no knowing. The Sublime Supper. If you came in one day and you were inspired and you wanted to cook something from that book, like, how would you get it down? You'd have to take all these off. Cat bowls.
Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
'Tis a bit insane, all that salmon. And yet, salmon's gotten rather expensive in the modern world. Kind of think this is a nice touch too. I feel like the apple pie recipe, it's showing that either that this family is a traditional, wholesome American family with all the apple pie aesthetic, or that they want to be. I don't know which way it might go, I just feel it's got to be one of those. Why would you have that there otherwise? And I'm thinking that's an old stove, which is, one would hope, no longer in use if they're going to keep books on it. Okay. It is borderline a hoarder house. Like, I can't criticise this because I do the same thing. I have so many books, but not in the kitchen. Not just stacked in the hallway where they could get kicked. And that's too many books to stack in a heap anyway. You can get away with it with paperbacks, but with hardcovers...
The table was still a wreck from the night we left.
With hardcovers, it can damage the spines. Yeah, that's eerie. Really. A lot of people finish this game in 2 or 3 hours. It took me longer, even on my very first time, because of the way I played.
It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Yeah, it does look like that. It kind of reminds me of that scene on the beach when they went to wherever they went to. Was it Anchorage? I think it was Anchorage. But yes, I look at everything. I look very closely at everything. I glean all the clues I can from the game and from what's been put in. So I look at all the photos and I think, why is that picture there? What's going on? That's kind of cool. There's a ferry. And they have done well to get family pictures. So many of them. Every little detail. The shelves, that's the garage in there. I wonder if that was once the outside and then they built the garage on later, which might explain why it seems a little bit more modern than the rest. I mean, that almost looks like a castle the way it's stacked, but too many books to stack up together. And all the cookbooks. Who needs cookbooks like that? It's a bit sad. It's like, just didn't have water. Marvellous view. Child setting. Imperial Palace. Is that the name of the... Can't quite read it there. My mouse is in an awkward position so that the sound of it dragging on the mouse pad doesn't come into the audio, because it did when I first tried to do this, but that means that my hands are in a sort of strange position and I can't turn it properly. If it looks like I'm having trouble turning corners, that's why. So I'll never look at that again. Doesn't really say, does it? What does it say in the menu? Imperial Palace. So there you go. They've got their own proprietary packs of chopsticks. See, that is a level of detail that you don't always see. There's more alcohol up there. You wonder if they had a drinker in the family. Which in itself can lead to hoarding and stuff like that. You know, if somebody's got that tendency, the issues that can lead you into alcoholism can also lead you into hoarding. I have to admit, I think, like, I also have my crockery. I have books and crockery. I feel very mildly called out by this, but at least my crockery is like 1920s collector crockery, like it's part of old sets, and my books are not stacked in the kitchen. What's that?
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Yeah, there kind of is a lot of it. It's a lovely design though. It's... From here it doesn't look that big. Like, it's got the kitchen with a sort of dining area here. And then it's got the formal dining area there, and it's got a lounge room and a front hall. I guess we haven't looked around much. I probably won't play the entire game this slow. Like, if anybody is still sticking out this snail's pace, I just wanted to have a look around these lower rooms, because when I played it before, I sort of rushed into the storyline, and I'm now wanting to sit with the setting a bit more. So let's check out this. Where's my...
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
There's more of that wine. Smashed plate? Whose plate would that have been? Oh, from there. And what's that? Is that... Oh, we can't see. It's upside down. What do we got? Interesting. Labyrinths. House of Leaves. That's very fitting, given they've got levels of this house that are basically built onto trees. Swedish folk tales. East of the sun and west of the moon. Interesting. Having that there along with labyrinths. Swedish folk tales. There's a little bit of repetition, but I feel like the books that are here, Norse myths, the books that are here, maybe even particularly the ones that are repeated, once you've played right through this story, you think, yep, they have their place. But those ones in particular. More cookbooks. So many cookbooks. What was that homeschool one down there? Homeschooling Essentials. It's like 2 different editions, but maybe it's volume 1 and volume 2. The King in Yellow, The Book of Sand, another East of the Sun and West of the Moon, Seeing Critically. Very interesting. I can't quite see what's up there. Cookbooks again. Up there where they're not going to be accessed very much. Even in the real world, you can often tell a lot about somebody from the books on their bookcases. I tend to do that when I go and visit someone, like not wanting to be rude, but I do gravitate towards the bookcase, and it's always interesting to see what they've got on it. Whenever I play a game, I always do this. I'm always looking along the shelves to see if anyone has happened upon my Skyrim playthroughs. I do the same thing there. Always look at the books. The second I walked into this place on my first playthrough, I thought, this is going to take me a while because I'm going to have to look at every single one. More crockery. This looks older. It's a really nice set. With a couple of books on top, believe it or not. The Nordic Cookbook. Oh. Okay.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
I love the way those letters do that. It's really clever. Here is this marvellous view. It is a gorgeous view. I would really enjoy having that, but I still really like the forest on the other side. If I've got this house and there's no one around and it's a nice calm day and I'm going to like sit somewhere with a book or writing in my journal or whatever, I still think the porch on the other side is the place I'd be. Not that this isn't brilliant. Maybe it's just that my experience of beachside is there's going to be wind and stuff, but the other side just has so much more living things. This is nice though. It'd be lovely to sit in here and look out and hear the waves. I do like the sound of waves. I don't know how you get out there. I don't think you can, which is a real puzzle. I wonder if this was actually originally a door going out and they've just turned it into bookshelf space. Anyone's guess. I really like the old books. These ones down here look almost 1970s on. And over here, if I can turn it around, up here, we've got these fantastic books that are kind of, there's a lot there that look like 1880s, 1890s. But then over here, we've got this mid-range. These are like the 1940s, 1950s books. We can't actually get a close look at them. They're just an aesthetic, but even that, they've gone to a bit of trouble there to get them right. And we've got these pictures. That's a fantastic picture. That's just outside at the deck. They were so happy. They look so happy. I wonder who took the picture. There's the ferry again. I wonder if that's the ferry we came over on. Here I am, millions of questions, no answers. What on earth is that? Looks like a whale or a dolphin or something. Anyway, here we are. Gorgeous house. That's a nice touch, having that upstairs balcony. And this with the double height. It's very stylish. All the books again. I've nearly had my fill of looking at books. I won't keep doing that. Photographs. fireplace. The old house, which I presume that is, with a horse and carriage, like a coach. Looks excellent. There's that picture again. TV sitting on books. Why? What are you thinking? That's not what a book is for. I have to admit, now that I think about it, I am kind of packed into a bedroom at the moment for this couple of years, and I never really thought about this before, but my TV, which is behind me over there, is actually sitting on a stack of boxes that contain books. So my TV is also sitting on books, but not books like that, books that are fairly carefully stacked in with supports. Yeah, it's called me out again, this has. They do great with the sound to put those little creaky sounds as if the wind is blowing. These are cool too. I like this sort of upholstered chair. It does look very homey. Then we've got this table. Wah! Then I've got to get round it. We've got this table made out of a slice of wood, which I do wonder if that's wood from this property. Oh, and then we've got up there, we've got a two-handled saw, which maybe was the saw used to cut down the wood that built this house. It's a great idea to do that with a saw when you finish using them. They are really big, those things. My grandfather had one. It was just kept in a back room of his house, and it sort of leaned against the wall, but it was so big and still so sharp. That is a cool thing to do. And then to have that space that's basically designed for it. Excellent way to do it. Okay, let's move on. If I can get out of this... See, this is the thing. It kind of looks like a big house, but everything only just fits. There's not really much play in this. Oh, is that for the cat? Oh, I wonder if the cat used it. My experience of cats is that if there's a dog around, they'll use one of those beds, but if not, they'll prefer to sit on the chairs. Right, we have preserved insects, which I find a little macabre. Like, people do this, it's interesting, but macabre. I think now that there's more to it than that. I think it's that they're on display. They're dead, but they're being displayed in their best form. Another picture of the ferry. What's over here? Pictures. Oh, a finch on a nest. That's a cool touch. I presume it's a finch. It could be a bluebird, but I presume it's a finch, given the house. I don't think we have finches here, so I don't really know much about them. These are a puzzle. I wonder who played them.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
I like that it's got a glass door. You see a lot of TV shows and movies, and the basement is just like you can't see through it. You don't know what's down there. It makes it a sort of creepy place. But because you've got the glass door, it's very much incorporated into the house. Not creepy at all.
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
And there's Bigfoot in the back which I didn't notice until someone pointed out, but now I see it all the time. Barbara Finch, My Friend Bigfoot. Barbara Finch. Can't read that. Barbara Finch is something little girl who picks up. Can't read the rest. Oh, isn't that great? That's just a really normal sort of family photo. And we know that's Dawn from the picture in the kitchen. So she must be carrying Edith. That must be Edith. And Lewis and Milton. That's a lovely picture. On a boat. On the ferry perhaps, or something else. Wow, doesn't that look great? Okay. Maybe the books are out because Dawn was going to pack them. Maybe that's it. Maybe they haven't always been in these stacks where they are. It's just that she was getting them out to sort through, to pack up, and didn't do it. Wow, there's so many pictures there. That is such a fascinating idea. That book arch kind of reminds me of the bookcase with the arch that is in the Berlin apartment, like in the fourth thing on the spaceship. It's a similar sort of idea. Right, let's carry on here.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
I would too. I would constantly believe that. You need that hard evidence to stop believing it. Interesting. There's the metamorphosis. Great light shades.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Which I assume must mean in books or something. There's labyrinths again. So many. And there's that chair, which I wonder if it was actually used much. I think we're finished with downstairs. I don't know what else I could see. We've got the mail. Oh, interesting. Mail for Dawn. They never picked up their mail. So I guess... But who put it there? Like, why didn't they? How old is that? November 2010. That is the month. That is the month that Lewis died. Probably that's when everything stopped for Dawn. Because she was probably the one grabbing the mail and handing it out to other people. There might be Christmas cards and things. Ah, you know, it never occurred to me. I have a doggy door. That'd be because there was a dog. That's a great picture. I think we've got a very similar picture for our dog going through a doggy door. There's cats on the chair. Kite baby. I don't... That picture again. I have a picture very much like that bottom one of a mountain in New Zealand, and I just happened to put it in a little frame, but it looks so similar.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Interesting. So that's where that goes. The lettering tends to tell you which way to go. It just gives you a bit of a clue. So I will go down there soon. I just want to finish here. Up here, higher up, we've got like the older pictures, the bigger. I mean, that's not actually older, but it's sort of got the older style because it's got the round frame. That is cool. Would that be like Lewis and Milton? Is that Edie over there? Wonder who that is. Cats. Cats. There's a cat in a tree. Oh, look at them all. I do like that they've got framed photos of their pets as well. Always did like that in a house. Cool balcony rail with a break. With a repair. It's an odd repair though. Here's the matching chair for the one down there. Nice to see. So, it led me this way, didn't it? We've got more insects. Pictures, pictures, pictures. Molly's door. This is where it led me.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
It's a cool bedroom. And that's nice too, all these pictures on it. Sven and Edie.
The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
That's only just before they left, really, isn't it? 'Cause Calvin and Sam.
My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
I mean, that's just horrendous. So Calvin was 11 when he died.
As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
I mean, my house had rooms you weren't allowed inside of, but it didn't have peepholes, and they weren't actually sealed off. They were just adult rooms that children weren't supposed to go into. So Sven and Edie. 1964, Sven died. Even that was a while back. So he never actually got to know this one. 61. Interesting. Okay, so we've got 3 bedrooms down there. One at... Oh no, that's a bathroom. We've got a bedroom on that side, a bedroom on that side, and a bathroom, which looks like it's the main house bathroom. So how did they function without that?
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
She was 16. And she died in 1960. here's this picture. Does that say Barbara? Okay, so she is painting this door. That's what we're seeing here. So I wonder what was in the middle there before they put a peephole there. Because there was clearly something. She's painting that very spot. I wonder. And she's pregnant there.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Okay. That is Edith's great-great-grandfather. Lovely to see pictures like that. Oh.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara. Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
I hope they gave that a bit of a hole and it's not just squashed. I think it was at this point, when I first played it, that I started to realise this was a family tree game. Because we've got Odin, and we've got Edie, and we've got Calvin, and Barbara, and Grandpa Sam. We've got all the generations involved. Metamorphosis right outside Molly's door. Time and the Gods, the Book of Wonder. Jabberwocky, A Dreamer's Tales. 100 Years of Solitude. Goodness. Right, I think I've looked. So, what's our floor plan here? What we've got is the front door there. Over the front door is this bit. The library is down there. Barbara's room is over the library. Nothing this way? Is that the case? No. Okay, so what we've got is the stairs going up to the loft, but over here, over the kitchen, Calvin and Sam's room is over the kitchen. This must be over the dining room. Well, this must be over the garage, maybe. And then this is over the dining room. Sven and Edie's room. Yep, and then we've got the lounge room, which has the high ceilings. So that is a nice anchor point. And then on this side, like, we don't actually know what's behind that. So I guess that means the library actually takes up this whole part of the house. Is that the case? Because under the library is this room, and yeah, we don't really know what's under here. What's under Molly's room? Maybe that's library as well. Alright, I'd left this room till last just because it's not sealed, and I wanted to look at all the sealed rooms and see all the... Like, Barbara died at the age of 16. Calvin died at the age of 11. Gregory died at the age of 1, or actually I think like 7 months or something. Sven died, I don't know why my head can't do that. Is that 49? 49. He was only 49. That's really young. That's too young as well. Edie died at 97. And when I had my first playthrough, like, there's a lot of different ways that people interpret this game and the scenario. One of these ideas is that there's a family curse. And being a family tree person and a history person, I really noted how old Edie is compared to everybody else. She had such a long time as a widow. Okay, and having looked at everything thoroughly, let's go in here. Beautiful room, beautiful colour. When I first looked at this, I was thinking, what happened here? They've half painted the door, but they haven't actually. That's just the top of the waves.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
I agree. I mean, look at it. What a marvellous place. Like, where else could you play if you're a child? You're outside or you're down in the lounge room. This room would have been right out of people's way. And what a space. Great Uncle Walter had a fantastic room. The way it's painted up is beautiful.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
I don't know why she thinks her mum knew about this. I mean, it's probably the case, but... What a marvellous space. Imagine having this as a child. Like, I'd be doing this too. You've got your tea set, you're doing your drawings, it would be warm, it would be safe. Stained glass window, bit iffy depending on the age of the child, but...
Reading
look at
this,
that doll's
maybe it
house.
sounds like I had a plan. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
I think that's pretty cool. Milton doing his paint. He is good. He's a good artist, young Milton. But I'll talk more about that later.
But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Here she is in Molly's room.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
The care and attention that went into this. They did a great job with this room. Beast of nature, monsters of the deep, the weird tale. On memory, that's an interesting one to see there. The Princess and the Goblin. Mummification. A short walk in the... I cannot read that. Birds of the Pacific Northwest. Fairy Tales. Bedbug. Alice in Wonderland. The Call of the Wild. Mount Rainier National Park. We can't go in there. I really wish we could. Oh, how I wish we could go in there. Orcas Island Caves. Right, we've got some kind of award there. It looks like it is. What on earth is that saying? 1946. Washington something, I think. Washington something, 1946, I don't know. That's the year before her death, when she was 9. This room is such a time capsule. Look at the attention in the decor here. It is astounding. But it's got the colours, the toys. Yes, she had 2 of these. Dresses in the cupboard. We can't quite access them. Everything is so perfectly done, so immaculately made. It really is the dream bedroom. That's a lovely one.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Because of the chair. Sitting in the chair. Nine Lives. A Cook in the Cupboard. The Jungle Book. A Short Walk in the... It's that one again. I still can't read it. I can see the K's. Call of the Wild, 9 Lives. Macbeth, my goodness. Is that a book for a child of that age? That's a fabulous view. The curtains are lovely. I wonder if the tree was that big when she was there. So what has she got on her desk? We've got a map of the house. That's her parents' bedroom. That's her little sister's bedroom. So I can remember this. She was born in 37. Barbara was born in 40. This is now. So in 47. No, Barbara was born in 44. That's a big gap. I never really thought about that before. So Barbara is 3 at this point. When she is, I suppose, 10. And she seems to be dissecting a starfish, which I guess was her area of interest. See, there, she's got the bugs there under the microscope. That was her area of interest. But I don't know that I find that a suitable thing for someone of her age to do. I feel like I would have discouraged my children from that until they were like 14 or 15. I get having a fascination for life around you, but that kind of clinical dissection at her age, I'm not sure. And then we've got the calendar, which is December 1947. Now, she died in 1947, so presumably she died, this is the month she died, so maybe this is exactly how her room looked at the time that she died. Just like that. I'll just finish off. Oh, this is interesting. Pacific Ocean depth chart. Daddy doesn't look terribly safe up there with that sea monster coming at him. Fishing without knowing what's going to happen. And there's Molly down there in a castle, waiting for him to come home, perhaps. It's an interesting picture. Does seem to be a bit of a story to it. That's the picture in the hallway. Alright, let's do this. Well,
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
which did happen.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone.
When you first come into the room, that is sitting exactly like that with the lid next to it. I just wonder, like, that's exactly how she left it, is it? I mean, Halloween was only a month ago. This is December. Which makes you wonder how much she's been shut in here living off her Halloween candy.
Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
This is something I've always loved about games involving time. The subtle little changes over the years. What I notice here is the colours. Things are just more bright, more vivid. Here's the starfish that she had. Oh, that's a little different. I guess it's because this is shifted over maybe. So there's Barbara's room in the back. But that has been pushed back a bit from where it was, and you can see Molly's room. Yeah, the tree is a little different. But I think it's a time of year thing. I think this might be winter and it's deciduous. She's got this jar down here. I wonder what's going on there. That fell? How did that fall? And this, even now, has no leaves. So I wonder if this is something to do with why she's shut in. That she, I don't know, pulled the leaves off the tree? Or is that deciduous and it's just winter? But that would imply nobody's coming in to help keep her room clean. Let's look at her bed. It does look like a nice bed. It's odd, it almost looks like, I don't know what's going on there. It almost looks like there's someone in it already. Maybe it's a cushion or something to put your legs in. But I do wonder. That is a cool lamp. And it's sort of pinky, so it fits. It's something that they used to do a lot as a punishment, sending children to bed without tea. It's even suggested in the parenting books of the time. Like, I don't think there's anything you can really read into the parents doing that. But the fact that when she did wake up and it's late at night and she did call out to them, the fact that they didn't come then, I find that harder to forgive. The same thing happened in Jane Eyre at the start of that book. She got shut in the bedroom that she was so afraid of without food.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
I'm glad you held back. Look at him. Ah, Christopher the fish. Oh, you can almost see these things now. It's a bit dark. If I lighten the image, I might be able to see it properly. All right, let's go through the door into her own very own private bathroom, which is also a lovely thing. Imagine this bathroom just sitting here in this sealed room not being used. I like the way she's very short, so we're very low down.
I kept eating and eating.
Toothpastes back then contained different substances. At least in Australia they did. So I don't know if that was the case there, but who knows what she just consumed. I think some of them had quite nasty things because they were designed to clean your teeth. So you weren't meant to eat them. You were meant to swish them around and spit them out. But like, these are the days when people slept in DDT powder and all sorts of terrible things, put kerosene on their hair. Who knows what was in that toothpaste?
I ate a lot of things that night.
Ditto for these. And I know some people have said, and I've seen this discussion out there, that holly berries are not actually poisonous. Like, they're probably unpleasant, but they're not actually poisonous. But are these holly berries? Because they didn't sound like it. They sounded like maybe this is actually just a decoration, like a fake thing. So they could be made of anything. Anything. Any kind of crystallized salt substance that contained absolutely anything.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
There we go.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
Let's see if I can do this with my mouse sort of. Okay. I'm glad it's helping me along.
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
You can see Christmas presents down there because it's December. Oh, we might get a better view now. Look at that Christmas tree. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? They don't have that wood slice table there. They've got something different at this point. In fact, the room looks really spacious. Like later on in the present day, when Edith went through earlier, it's quite cramped, but at this point, and there's no books. Look, all the books out there. So I wonder whose books they are. I really like these little touches of the past that you can see. All right, we're a cat catching a bird. Let's go catch the bird. Interesting that they've got Christmas lights back in 1947.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
my grandparents' house, where my mum grew up, they didn't even get electricity until 1956. And I had heard, like, they were rural, so the cities had it a bit sooner, but I do think America had electricity long before. We had gas, like there was gas lighting and all sorts of stuff, but not actual wired electricity to houses, not till much later. Oh, there's the garage. It's not a garage yet, so I think that's where we are. I know, I've got to catch the boat. Oh, interesting. So they're in the process of, although that looks like that's a wall, that far side. Maybe that's not it. Maybe this is... Maybe this is the room that becomes the kitchen, because it's got a wall there. Oh well, here I am. I can't help it. I can't help doing these things. So where do I go now? Where's this bird? Where am I catching the bird? Oh, we went over there. Can't resist looking. I know. What am I meant to do there?
I jumped and I almost got her.
This cat is a very brave cat. Even cats are not actually invincible. Oh, I always do this. I always end up down there.
I could tell she was getting really tired.
I want the table. I like the table. I'm on the chair. Nice. Oh, look at the bugs. They'd be mollies as well. And the rockets. Do we have like nuclear missiles on a truck? (1947). That looks like a military vehicle. Was she thinking about, like, radiation and mutation here? Okay.
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore.
I
All
find
I
that
cared about was eating that mama bird.
I find that a scary thought. I mean, here she is at her age climbing in the tree, which reminds me of my kids really, and it makes me wonder if she had ADHD, like if she's just really...
I gobbled her up.
Oh, goodness. If she's
and suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
If she was like just really active all the time and always climbing and always jumping and not sitting still, and that kind of led to her getting shut in her room without tea.
Rabbits.
Oh, that was a close one. I nearly missed that.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
See, my thought with all this is that she ate something and she's hallucinating. Like, it's another of those points where everybody interprets it their own way. And
A
you
mama
can.
rabbit.
You don't know what's going on. Whoops, I missed that. You don't know what's going on, so you can form
She
your
was
own
almost too big to carry. I
impressions
started
of it.
choking, but I couldn't stop eating.
But mine is that she ate, she's
And
hallucinating,
suddenly, I was a shark.
and it's killing her. And that heartbeat thing, where the heart was pumping very fast, was actually happening in her real world. But she's dreaming that she's these animals because through all this, she's still hungry. So all the eating that she gets to do in this hallucination, she's not doing that in the real world. She is actually remaining hungry. And if she has eaten something, she might be feeling
I rolled
like
off a cliff and into the ocean.
extra
Now,
hungry.
I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Which I think is really clever that this game did it this way. But I do think it's presented it so nicely to be that. Like, to be all sorts of things. All the other potential interpretations work too. I've lost the seal. I've lost the seal. Where's the seal? Find me the seal. I was doing really well and then I overshot. It's around somewhere. Where's my juicy seal? There. But all these things that she's dreaming about.
Grabbed on tight. When I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster and I smelled people everywhere.
And she's on a ferry. Which could be that she hears the bell of the ferry. But there's no indication how late it is. It is.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
I wasn't going to make it.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Which to me, I have so many thoughts about that, and I don't know if I should wait till later. I might have to wait till later. But I feel that this is her life, really. Like, she's doing all this reading about sea monsters and dissecting things and looking at dead things when she's so young. And I think, like, it's interesting,
After
but
the last passenger, I was still hungry.
she's too young for all
Across the
that.
water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
And there would be a sense of, I wanted to stop,
I
but
slithered
also I
onto the
didn't.
sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
And I'm also reminded of that picture on her wall with the sea serpent about to eat Daddy. Also, I can have all these alsos. I noticed that all the things she ate there were mamas. She ate the mama bird, she ate the mama rabbit. I guess we don't know about the seal.
I got closer and closer. All of my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Poor Molly. We don't know how she died, and we don't know if she even actually got out of bed and went and ate all those things. But, as I said before, the one constant we have is the house. We've got the state of the house. We've got the things in the house. This is the way she left it on that night. But
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that too. Like, everything about her is still here. But it's interesting. I feel also, given that she was shut in, given that that's still down there, and it's broken. The game has left a whole lot of clues. Not even fully clues, more kind of ideas for us to chew on. So maybe that was true. Maybe she got up, went in there, ate something poisonous, hallucinated all of that stuff, and died in her bed. And I think the heartbeat, the fast heartbeat when she was an owl trying to eat the mama rabbit, I think that would fit with an actual physical reaction she was having at that moment. It was hitting her heart, whatever it was. But when you look at this, it looked like she was in her bed. She got up and did all that, but there was a shape in her bed of legs and everything. I couldn't see a face, but there were legs. So was all of that a dream? Maybe she never actually ate those things. Maybe she was just lying in bed having that dream because she was so sick. She may even have dreamed that her mum shut her in that night because that has happened, perhaps, and that was her, like, potentially her fevered brain trying to interpret why she was lying in bed very hungry. Like, maybe she was actually sick. It's lovely the way the game does this. It gives you all these little thoughts, but it doesn't actually give you answers. So you just look around the room and figure out what you can. But I do think that while the room is very perfect, I'm not absolutely sure that this room was for her. And I don't know if that really makes sense. I've seen it before in some friends of mine. Like, they've got the most immaculate bedroom, but they're not allowed to play in it. They've got toys, the perfect toys, set up all over, but it's decor. They're not supposed to touch it. It is really the mum's bedroom. It is the parents' house. The parents have, like, a child aesthetic, and they've got the child themselves as part of the aesthetic, so they don't actually live in the place that looks perfect for them. And I mean, I'm not saying at this point that this is what's going on here, but it does occur to me when I look at this that it could be. She's got all this marvellous stuff, but is it what she wanted? Is this really her interest? Did she maybe just show an interest in sea creatures and they took it to an extreme level and didn't let her develop other interests? I don't know. Theories, it's all you can do at this point. But you can see a lot of the things that end up in her dreams. And I find that this a bit of a macabre thing for a child of her age to be doing. Particularly No, it doesn't quite fit with the rest. Anyway, she died on, was it the 13th of December or the 17th of December? 13th, I think. So she did die in this month. Let's move on. Let's go look out here. What?